Welcome to the next phase of Renovate This Whole House, where we'll be talking about nothing but flooring, from LVP luxury vinyl planks to carpet and tile. So let's get started. Today we'll be talking about installing LVP luxury vinyl planks. We're going to remove this flooring and install the LVP throughout this room, into the kitchen, down the hallway, into the bedroom, and into the washroom. And as well as upstairs, we'll do vinyl going up the steps, this hallway and bathroom, and in here we'll install carpet, as well as this bedroom we'll install carpet, and possibly keep this flooring here. So let's get started. We have some of the flooring laid out, and this is a vinyl product, so you just want to make sure when you store it, wherever you store it, make sure it's flat in the boxes. So just got enough laid out, and let's look at some of the things we're going to need. The saw I like to use for end cuts, because this basically is a two-man job, I would say. A cut man, so you ain't got to get up and down cutting. You're gonna need, and I like to use a grinder for my long straight cuts. You can score this product and snap it just as you would drywall. Tape measure, utility knife, square, pulling block, tapping block, and this is the product. It's a, like I say, a vinyl product, and this is LifeProof brand. And it's a waterproof rigid core vinyl plank flooring. This color is sterling oak, and it has the vapor barrier on the back already. Need your mallet and pencil or marker depending on the color of your material. So let's get started. The way you want to install it is, you want your tongue section away from the wall, and you want to leave about a 1/4 inch space on both sides all the way around. And line it up with your next section. You want to take your tongue and groove and make sure your edges are lined up. And once you get your edges lined up, you basically just lay it down and take your mallet. Once your edges are lined up, and lock it in. And before I go forward, what I like to do is start my next row so that I know that this edge is lined up. So since I cut my first plank short, try to keep my gaps no closer than 12 inches. So I'll take this one, tilt it in, get it lined up, and the same thing, basically lay it down. So that way you know that this line is straight, because now everything is lined in and snapped in. And from here, you do the same thing, keeping your gap, and also watching the way you go down the wall. So that's how we get started. When you get to a section where you have to make your cut, what you want to do is take your board and reverse it. And we're going to put it where we're going to go to, which is here. And we're going to take it and mark it at the end of your the top of your wood or your vinyl. So that's where our mark is going to be. You can score it. You can take your straight edge and score it, and then just snap it. I just like to cut it, not in a hurry. And that's how you make your cuts for, just reverse your board, make a mark, and lay it in. So that's how we lay the first row. Once you get the first row started, it's pretty simple. And like I said, in your tongue side, which is here, and your groove side, which is your back side here, all you're doing is laying that in into there. So that's a tight fit. And then you're tilting it down and making sure it goes in. And that's pretty simple. And then you just tap it with your tapping block or pull it in. And that's what we're doing. So once you see we tilt it up, get it into the groove and lay it down and tap it in, and that way you got a tight fit. So pretty simple. And you try to keep your joints no closer than a foot apart and not lined up, and you stagger it as you go all the way throughout the room. So let's finish up. So the same principle applies when going around items or objects. In this case, we're going to lay out a piece the way it goes. You can take your measurements, or you can just put it where it actually goes. Mark this. That's going to be our rip that we're going to rip all the way down. And that's it. So what slows you down are your cuts. And after that, you basically repeat the steps all the way through and all the way down, continuing, starting over from end to end. And like I said, those are your slowdowns of when you got to cut, but just take your time and make the cuts in the right measurements. When you're cutting around the doors, what you want to do is get you a scrap piece of the material you'll be using, line it up with the jamb, and you're gonna need an oscillating tool in order to cut, or you can take a saw and cut it out. And basically, you're gonna line it up and cut, and that'll give you the height to cut at. And that way, when you put your material in, it'll actually slide under your jamb. So we'll let this stay in since it's inside the closet, but we'll go here, and as you can see, it'll fit under it. So that's how you cut to go around your door jambs, and you want to make sure, like I said, you get the proper height and slide your material under. So once you cut under your jamb, this is what it looks like. You get a seamless flow into the closet. So that way you don't have to put a transition strip, and you don't end up with a lot of gaps around the molding or the door jamb. And then we come back and put our shoe molding in.